Welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It's your host with the most. We're going to talk about a young lady and what happened to her recently in a beautiful part of Jamaica called Port Maria in St. Mary. But first, before I do all that, let's just run through a little history on Port Maria. All right. So, finding this information at visitjamaica.com. Not many people know that Port Maria, the Puerto Santa Maria of the Spanish, was the second town to be established in Jamaica by the colonizing Spaniards. Yes, Jamaica was colonized by Spaniards. Formerly a bustling seaport under both Spanish and English rule, the town today reflects very little of its former prosperity or importance. Except for a handful of buildings, not much remain of the colonial era architecture. The town is set in the center of a deep inlet of the northern coastline with a small island just offshore, and the bay is certainly one of the most picturesque in Jamaica. As capital of the parish of St. Mary, Port Maria is home to the St. Mary Courthouse, an old, elegant building subtly dominating the town's waterfront. Local flavor. Port Maria, and indeed the entire parish of St. Mary, has a very old and deep-seated tradition of protest. From as early as 1655, African slaves set free by the fleeing Spanish took to the hills, forming maroon communities and carrying out the occasional attack on British estates and towns. In 1760, Tacky, the notorious rebel slave, led a revolt against slave owners that lasted over a month before British authorities could suppress the fighting. Centuries later, in 1938, riot that started in Islington, a small farming community near to Port Maria. 4 men died as a result of clashes with local police. The spirit of protest lives on, although in recent times not much has been able to incite the people here to any mass violence. Well, alright. Famous for? In front of the courthouse is a monument to Tacky, a freedom fighter of the 18th century. In 1760, Tacky, an African slave of Coromantee descent, assembled a guerrilla army to attack their British enslavers and seize control of the land. The revolt started on the nearby frontier plantation, but quickly spread after Tacky and his followers raided the munitions store in Port Maria. Tacky's revolt was one of the most pivotal slave uprisings in Jamaican history, because although outnumbered and ill-equipped, Tacky's followers kept the British at bay for more than a month before the rebellion could be subdued. Following the rebellion, though, many of the slaves that managed to evade the British banded together and fled to the hills to join the Maroons, but as many as 300 were executed for their participation. And here is what not to miss here. The St. Mary Parish Church, which was built in 1861 of limestone blocks on the edge of the bay. It is one of the most picturesque structures anywhere on the island of Jamaica. The modest chapel is set against the dazzling turquoise harbor, framed by tall palm trees whose leaves rustle gently in the warm sea breezes. All right. And with that said, and your little history there of Port Maria, St. Mary, let's talk about this beautiful and promising young lady. It says a female chef. She was a chef. She was attacked and shot in Port Maria, St. Mary. Beautiful place, ugly death. The deceased is identified as 21-year-old Trishana Pearson of Corner Pond. Police report that about 10:50 p.m., Pearson, a chef, was walking in the parish capital when she was ambushed and shot multiple times by gunmen. Minutes later, her bullet-riddled body was found lying in a pool of blood by residents who heard the loud explosions. Residents in the community who heard the gunshots went to investigate and stumbled upon Pearson's body, which was laying along the roadway in a pool of blood. The police arrived at the scene and took Pearson to the hospital, where she was pronounced dead. Now, people, I don't know. If you notice, I've been staying away from these kind of stories for a while. And the reason why is because after a while of doing so many of them, they get so draining. But what I notice is that when I stay away from these stories, it's like nobody else covers them. You know what I'm saying? And a part of me feel like, it's like I look at everybody like my brother or my sister, and I couldn't imagine my brother or my sister or myself just shot down somewhere and them just bury you in a hole and that's it. And no one ever heard anything about you. So I put her story out there, not for entertainment's sake, because nothing about this is entertaining, but for people to just look and know these levels of wickedness. I don't know what this young lady, a 21-year-old young lady like this, could have done to someone to have multiple men pounce upon her out of bushes in a beautiful place like this, and gunshots, multiple gunshots, and kill her. This one is suspicious. I've been looking around to see a follow-up to the story. I have not been able to find a follow-up to the story. I don't know if this is a robbery. Could this have been a robbery by someone that she knew? Or could this have been a case of them trying to draw her away so they can probably rape her or something, and she put up a fight and they actually shot her because it was somebody that she knew that was trying to do it, and had they let her live, she would have exposed their wrongs. I don't know. I did a video recently where I said, Jano, if you know gonna rob me, but left me alive now, so no can rob me next time again. Because it seems like robbery and murder goes hand in hand. It's like they come to rob you and they get what they want or whatever they can get, but they kill you. They come to rob you, you don't have anything, so they don't get nothing, them kill you same way. So it's like I'm not understanding the culture of what's going on. I'm not understanding, and it's become the norm now to not only rob a person, but to kill them when you go to rob them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying her case was a robbery. I'm just saying I find it very suspicious that a 21-year-old young female who seems so very small in body structure and stature, that gunman, she was walking in the parish capital, you know, when gunmen ambushed and shot her multiple times. I mean, I don't know. There's so many things though that could have gone wrong. And I don't want to throw dirt on her name because I didn't know her like that. The most I can say is condolences to the remaining family members, her parents if they're still around, and remaining family members, because this must hurt. It hurts when someone passes away but they've lived a full life. It hurts when it's an elderly person. It hurts when it's someone that's, say, in their mid-ages that got sick and took some time to die. And then you have the family that had time to say goodbye and time to slowly build into the mourning process, expecting what was to come next. But when your beautiful 21-year-old daughter leave home Monday morning, and Monday afternoon, she's gunned down in the middle of the city, and no one saw or heard anything except for we heard gunshots and we went to look after and we saw her body full with bullets. that hurts deeply. And I can only imagine what that must feel like to someone who this is actually their experience with their own child. You know what I'm saying? So again, my condolences. Remember, people, we started saying, let's do the petition to force those in power to put up CCTVs with central monitoring points. Do you hear where this said it happened? She was walking in the parish capital when she was ambushed and shot multiple times in the parish capital. So even if someone is gonna say, yo, SouFlo, so them can't put up CCTV around a bush, so them can't put it up over there so and there so. Every parish capital should be filled with CCTVs at this point. We're tired of the same narrative. Them ride up on a yang or two bike. Them ride up alongside a car. Car came up. Men alighted from vehicle, jumped back in car, driveway. All these kind of stories. Men disappeared in nearby bushes or disappeared on a waiting motorcycle. And it's in busy areas. And yet, no one is able to be brought to justice. Anyways, I'm going to leave this one right here. And again, I send my condolences out. It's SouFLoTV, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Wanna walk good. And wanna watch where wanna getting on yourself involved in. Alright? At different times now. I'm out. Peace.